What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys, back yet again, more Destiny 2 action. And today, following up an earlier video I did talking about power level. This specific video is going to be talking through how to get past that 265 soft cap. So I did a previous video where if you're not quite there up to that 265, I've got some kind of beginner tips that'll help you kind of make that grind and get there. This video specifically, probably more intermediate for those folks trying to break past through 265 and reach those higher power levels. So I've got a couple tips, some things that I've been doing that have helped me. As of the recording of this video, you'll see I'm at 268 in the video. I've actually progressed a little bit farther beyond that. I made it up just above the 275 level, so definitely not the highest, but still making the grind. And I'm finding the tips that I'm using that I'll share with you guys have been beneficial for me to make that jump. I will say, for those of you that know, and I didn't because I'm new to Destiny 2, but for those of you that know, really it's post that soft cap, that's where the real grind happens. You're going to have to put the time in. You're going to be doing what feels like probably quite a few missions, grinding some similar events over and over, public events being one of them, and you're just going to see that if you do put the time in with a little bit of luck, because some of your drops are based a little bit on luck, that you will be able to break past that. But once you get on a roll, hopefully with these tips, hopefully you should see some pretty good increases, and hopefully before long you'll be up into the 280s and 290s, and then really can start the grind up into the 300s. So the first thing, importantly, at 265, some specific things happen. 265, you're going to see a lot of your rare equipment that will stop and will drop only at 260, even though you're at the 265 level. It's not until you break past 265 that you're going to see that equipment kind of drop incrementally higher. So you saw I had some 263, some 262 equipment in the rare slot. It's never quite going to drop at your same level though, so that's important. The nice thing for that though, with it kind of still scaling with you, for the fact is if you have one specific piece of equipment that's holding you back, you can gain a few light levels there. Additionally though, it's still good that you're grabbing the equipment because you can just turn it into gunsmith materials. Now still also at 265, you're going to see your vendors cap at 265 until you make even more incremental progress, and they will eventually though scale with you. So I think right now for me at 275, they're sitting right at about 270. I think you'll see it's every 2 or 3 light levels that you get, you'll get a slight increase to all of your vendors and their legendary engram drops. Now this is nice though, again, because when you make the jump up and you start to work towards 265, you're going to see that you're going to get equipment that pretty much almost everything that you pick up to a certain extent is going to help you increase your light level. Once you get to that 265, you're going to see that you're going to get a couple, drops that might be really good. You get a couple good weapons, maybe a good power weapon, maybe a good kinetic weapon, and then maybe a couple pretty good pieces of equipment. But then you're going to have 1 or 2 slots or 3 pieces of equipment that are kind of holding you back. The nice thing about vendors scaling with you, even though it's not exactly parallel, is that it's still going to provide a good avenue for you to grab equipment that can still help you make a higher light and get to higher light level. So my tip for you guys is once you get to the 265, you can absolutely still spend your vendor equipment as your vendor reputation currency, I'll say, here like I'm doing, but I would definitely recommend that you maybe hold on to some of that stuff, or at least hold on to a few specific vendors. The world vendors specifically are a favorite of mine, just for the sole fact that they'll drop anything, weapons or gear. Weapon materials, gunsmith materials, as you saw me there, I'm a little bit more lenient with. I really turn those in when I have them, just to see if I can get any of my gear to drop a little bit more powerful. Now, importantly enough, speaking of powerful gear and legendary engrams, milestones and anything that awards powerful gear, which is what you're looking at right here, is going to be probably the biggest thing that's going to help you make the jumps. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you go into your milestones, you go into your map, you bring it up, and you hold your left trigger, you're going to bring your milestones up. There are some milestones as you progress through the game. I definitely recommend wait to do these until post 265. And they're going to drop powerful gear. This powerful gear is always going to drop at a higher light level than whatever you are. So I'm sitting at, I think, 268 right now in this. you're going to see this is going to drop at 276 for me, so that's a pretty significant jump. Additionally, you have the chance of getting both an exotic and a legendary out of this. You saw me right there grab 2 exotics, which I'm still happy with, again, and they're going to drop at that higher light level. Do those, hang on to those until post 265, and you're going to see the fact that you're going to have things jump up. Now, the nice thing about that is some of that stuff resets weekly, which we'll be covering in another video, or if we haven't already. So that's just another good tip. Definitely hang on to that stuff. You saw that sniper rifle that I just put in there single-handedly got me a light level just by itself for the fact of how high it was. You're also going to see I've got a piece of exotic equipment here at 270. Those legendary gauntlets that I got ended up being at 276. Now, the nice thing about this is I have the +5 defense, so really these are 265 gauntlets. I really like the look of them, so I'm just going to infuse here. You're going to see them jump up to 276, plus get that extra +5 that's on there, and that's really going to help me level up, and I go up to 271 already. So 2 pieces of equipment, 1 powerful gear drop, especially at that lower 265, 268 range, really made a huge difference for me. Infusing and keeping good exotic equipment, especially stuff that you definitely want to hang on to, because you can equip 1 exotic for your armor and 1 exotic for your weapon, is also another good tip that I have for you guys. So as you get this legendary gear, it doesn't cost a whole lot to infuse. I think it's just a single shard because it's legendary. A lot of legendary gear comes with those modifiers on it already, either +5 attack or +5 defense, which is going to be hugely beneficial. So it's important to understand with those modifiers on it, the base is actually 5 less than whatever you're seeing it is. So with the equipment, like you saw there, I got something at 276, definitely way higher than anything that I had, but I really like the gauntlets, and I want to maintain a piece of equipment that has that modifier on it, so just doing that infusion was a huge bump for me. So just a couple tips as far as the engram side of it goes. You're also going to see your legendary engrams kind of incrementally increase with you as well. Important to note that even if it shows 265 from all of your vendors, you can get equipment that'll drop higher than that, a couple light levels higher, which is always good. So I definitely recommend doing some trade-ins periodically, especially if you're kind of stuck, but it's definitely not very consistent. Like I said, I think it's more beneficial if you can break into those higher light levels, get up closer to that 270 range, where then you'll see your vendors really start to kind of creep up with you, which will then allow you to kind of more incrementally get that higher light level. Again, specific for me, that was the issue I ran into, was I just had pieces of equipment, 1 or 2 pieces of equipment that were really holding me back, and the fact that I was able to scale everything else up and kind of still slowly build my light level up ended up being so that when I traded in that reputation currency, I ended up getting drops even at the 269 range that ended up helping me and being better than what I had equipped. So that's really kind of my tips as far as reputation currency, powerful gear and all that stuff. As far as a aspect of just what to do and how to kind of gain exotic and legendary engrams, my biggest advice to you guys is do raids, as well as just go and kind of farm public events. If you can turn your public events into heroic public events by doing some of those specific event related milestones or achievements or portions of the fight, they have a higher chance of dropping exotic engrams as well as better gear. So that's definitely a good thing to do, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Also, don't be afraid, knock out the challenges on the world, get those reputation bundles, and then just keep consistent with your milestones since that stuff resets, and you're always going to have some chance each week, hopefully, to at least pick up a little bit of powerful gear. So that's really what I've got for you. Some real basic tips. I know nothing groundbreaking, but definitely some things that are helping me. The one thing that I haven't done that I've also seen a lot of people talk about that has really helped them is actually to do multiple characters. Now, when you break past that 265, you're obviously going to have a lot of equipment at level 20, but specific to weapons, you're able to trade a lot of that over. If you do another character that's the same type, although that might be a little bit boring for some, If you do another character at the same type, you'll also be able to do the same thing with equipment. You can trade that stuff back and forth to your different characters. So you get that second character up to level 20. They're going to not only have all of the powerful gear milestones still available to them because it's a different character, you're also going to see that you're going to be able to level them up really quickly with just some of the base gear that you're using on your higher character already. So don't trade it in, keep a full set. Even if you have it all that full set at, in the 265 range, as soon as your character hits that level 20, boom, you're gonna see a huge increase in power level very quickly. You can then go rinse, repeat, do that powerful gear missions, and bam, there you go. You've now hit multiple powerful gear in the course of a week. So just a tip. I haven't done it yet, but I do know it's definitely helpful, especially if you really want to grind up into that higher light level. So hopefully you guys found these tips useful. If you did, please throw a comment or a like on the video. I really appreciate it. As always, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Really like chatting with you guys in the community. So if there's any other tips from those folks that are already at those high power levels, what's helped you get there, share those below. Really love chatting with you guys in the community and really just enjoy it. So I've been Doc from Average Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it, and we'll check you in the next video.